I'm sorry. I got a big air bubble on me right now. Let me drink some more Dr. Pepper. I mean, you can go ahead and read if you want. Alright, let me finish my drink. Okay, I'm ready. Alright, go ahead.
We're back. Ghost stories and stuff. Back for another episode. After like a year.
Yep. Never thought we'd do this again.
Yep.
I'm also here. I was missing from the last few episodes without any good reason.
Yeah, but you're here now. That's what's important.
Yeah, hold on, excuse me.
We gotta talk about spaceships.
And
Maury.
we're back. This
And we're
story
back.
is coming at you from the University of Chicago.
We think.
This is on a .edu domain, so take this very seriously.
Very seriously.
This actually happened.
It did.
All right, we'll kick us off.
Alright, well, I'm Evan.
I'm Davis.
I'm Braden. This is
Ghost
this is
stories and
Ghost
stuff.
Stories.
We know what we're doing. Alright, here we go. This looks like a good one. Report on an unidentified space station. By J.G. Ballard. Survey Report 1. By good luck, we've been able to make an emergency landing on this uninhabited space station. There have been no casualties. We all count ourselves fortunate to have found safe haven at a moment when the expedition was clearly set on disaster. It's weird how they point out that there's been no casualties. Why would you say that if there's been no casualties? You know what I mean?
Well, it's a report.
Yeah. I guess so, yeah. You gotta convey information back somewhere.
You got to fill your report with truths instead of not speaking truths.
The emptiness of space. The station carries no identification markings and is too small to appear on our charts. Although of elderly construction, it is soundly designed and in good working order, and seems to have been used in recent times as a transit depot for travelers resting at midpoint in their journeys. Its interior consists of a series of open passenger concourses with comfortably equipped lounges and waiting rooms. As yet, we have not been able to locate the bridge or control center. We assume that the station was one of many satellite drogues surrounding a large command unit and was abandoned when a decline in traffic left its surplus to the needs of the parent transit system. So that's the conclusion they came up with just by looking around the place, I guess.
Bunch of open passenger concourses, whatever that means.
Yep.
I've never been to space.
No.
Has anyone been to space?
That's a good question.
So this was like a pit stop for spaceships passing by? Is that what they're saying?
I think
A
so.
midpoint in their journeys.
Yeah.
Something of a gas station.
Yeah, it's like it's a space
The
gas
Chinese,
station.
they know what they're doing.
A curious feature of the station is its powerful gravitational field, far stronger than would be suggested by its small mass. However, this probably represents a faulty reading by our instruments. We hope shortly to complete our repairs and are grateful to have found shelter in this relic of the now forgotten migrations of the past. The estimated diameter of the station is 500 meters. Interesting.
Survey Report 2. Our repairs are taking longer than we first estimated. Certain pieces of equipment will have to be reconstructed from scratch, and to shorten this task, we are carrying out a search of our temporary home. To To our surprise, we find that the station is far larger than we guessed. A thin local atmosphere surrounds the station, composed of interstellar dust attracted by its unusually high gravity. This fine vapor obscured the substantial bulk of the station and led us to assume that it was no more than a few hundred meters in diameter. We began by setting out across the central passenger concourse that separates the two hemispheres of the station. This wide deck is furnished with thousands of tables and chairs, but on reaching the high partition doors 200 meters away, we discovered that the restaurant deck is only a modest annex to a far larger concourse. An immense roof, 3 stories high, extends across an open expanse of lounges and promenades. We explored several of the imposing staircases, each equipped with a substantial mezzanine, and found that they led to identical concourses above and below.
So it sounds like a Buc-ee's in space.
Yep.
Like a bunch of tables.
That's
It's like
what
a
I
food
understand.
court, kind of.
I haven't heard anything about how clean their bathrooms are.
Yeah. I mean, they gotta poop at some point. So.
Unless they're aliens. We'll read on. The space station has clearly been used as a vast transit facility, comfortably accommodating many thousands of passengers. There are no crew quarters or crowd control posts. The absence of even a single cabin indicates that this army of passengers spent only a brief time here before being moved on, and must have been remarkably self-disciplined or under powerful restraint. Estimated diameter, 1 mile.
So, I did notice they switched from
metric to imperial.
Yeah, they switched from metric to imperial units. Maybe that's just how they do it in the future.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Although this is just something of a casual dictation to the captain's computer.
Yes.
So maybe it's just easier to say 1 mile rather than 1.6 kilometers.
Maybe he's American. Or part American and part
Except he's been using British spelling.
Yeah.
Like center in the first report, it was with an R-E.
So I think he lived in England for a while, or he was born in England and lived in America for a while. Just
He
started
learned
using
how to
miles.
read in England, but he
Yes.
learned how to measure in America.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yep.
Survey Report 3. A period of growing confusion. 2 of our numbers set out 48 hours ago to explore the lower decks of the station, and so far have failed to return. We have carried out an extensive search in fear that a large accident has taken place. None of the hundreds of elevators is in working order, but our companions may have entered an unanchored cabin and fallen to their depths. We managed to force open one of the heavy doors and gazed with awe down the immense shaft.
Yeah.
Many of the elevators within the station could comfortably carry 1,000 passengers. We hurled several pieces of furniture down that shaft, hoping to time the interval before their impact, but not a sound returned to us. Our voices echoed away into a bottomless pit.
I mean, you're in space. You throw something down a hole, you can't see the bottom of. It may not even hit the bottom. It might just go straight out the other side into the vacuum of space.
Yep.
You're not going to hear your voice back bounce.
Where is the gravitational field generated? Could it just be caught in mid-air somewhere where the gravity is net zero? I'm struck by how primitive this space adventure seems to be. Like they have instruments that can measure the gravity of the space station, but they can't tell how big it is.
I don't know.
And they have no better way of measuring the length of an elevator shaft than by throwing things down it and timing the thud.
Yep.
This is fascinating.
Yep.
Indeed.
To be fair, they did sound pretty screwed in the first report. They're like, oh my gosh, we found somewhere where we can sit down and
That's fair.
reconvene or something. I don't know. But they sounded like they were in trouble. They sound like they're on the run from something.
Fair. Maybe they are Americans.
Because if you're not if you're in a hurry, you're not gonna like pull out this gun that measures a hole. You're just gonna throw something down the hole, you know? Just grab something, throw it. Not have to do any math.
Makes sense. Maybe their math guy left.
Maybe he fell down an elevator shaft.
Yeah, it could be, and that's why they switched from metric to imperial, because they didn't know how to measure
True.
stuff anymore.
Yeah, he was the only one that used metric. Now he's dead.
He was
The most important guy. He's out.
The enlightened scientist, the one man on the spaceship who knew anything about science.
All right, continuing on.
Perhaps our companions are marooned far from us on the lower levels. Given the likely size of the station, the hope remains that a maintenance staff occupies the crew quarters on some remote upper deck, unaware of our presence here. As soon as we contact them, they will help us to rescue our companions. Estimated diameter, 10 miles.
So, I thought the space station sounded abandoned.
I know.
So
where's
really,
these people?
Yeah. I don't know how they can hope that staff is still here.
Yeah.
Right?
Maybe they die here.
I think something else may be there, but it's not the staff. It's an immense shaft.
Yep.
We'll just have to read on.
Yep. Also, they're looking for their companions, which I did not know. Did they mention that?
Yeah. They lost them. They thought they
down the elevator
had fallen
shaft.
down an unanchored cabin. But why can't they just, give them a phone call, send a text message
I don't know.
with their space phones?
I don't know.
This is absurd.
Yeah.
Survey Report 4. Once again, our estimate of the station's size has been substantially revised. The station clearly has the dimensions of a large asteroid or even a small planet. Our instruments indicate that there are thousands of decks, each extending for miles across an undifferentiated terrain of passenger concourses, lounges, and restaurant terraces. As before, there's no sign of any crew or supervisory staff, yet somehow a vast passenger complement was moved through this planetary waiting room.
So they have instruments that indicate there's thousands of decks, but they're throwing stuff down an immense shaft.
There is no meter stick on board. Now, maybe we made a fatal assumption. This space station, is it just adrift, its own man-made structure somewhere in space? Or is it on a planet, on an asteroid, and they thought it was just a tiny little speck of a thing on this heavenly body, yet it actually takes up more surface area than they could have thought?
I think it's just free floating in space.
That was my assumption, yes.
Yeah.
So this debris field they're realizing is just the structure itself.
Maybe.
Must be. And they mentioned a thin atmosphere.
Yeah. And something's holding that atmosphere together because,
Gravity.
Yeah.
Stronger gravitational field than they would have suspected.
And what's keeping that gravitational field going is my question.
Probably a gravity monster, if I had to guess.
Yep.
This far out in space. Maybe a gravity worm.
The shaft could be so immense that it has its own gravitational pull.
Right. Heavenly bodies love immense shafts.
Yep.
They go together like peanut butter and pancakes.
While resting in the armchairs beneath the unvarying light, we have all noticed how our sense of direction soon vanishes. Each of us sits at a point in space that at the same time seems to have no precise location, but could be anywhere within these endless vistas of tables and armchairs. We can only assume that the passengers moving along these decks possessed some instinctive homing device, a mental model of the station that allowed them to make their way within it.
Gravity worms notoriously have a really good sense of direction.
Gravity worms.
Gravity worms.
Do you want to elaborate?
It's just a fun. Well, everybody knows that.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
common
yeah.
knowledge.
Yeah,
Don't really
common
need to-
knowledge.
Just look it up if you're at home and you don't know about gravity worms yet.
Yeah, okay. I need to look it up. Now we're getting into liminal space stuff. Because they're losing their sense of direction. They have no idea where to go or where they came from, I guess. And they're saying the only way someone can get through here is to have a device that tells you how to get through here.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't
Kind of like a bird
Yeah. Like a mental GPS.
compass,
Yeah.
one might say. It is strange, yeah. And if this is, there doesn't really seem to be any hints that this is a psychic phenomena that they're encountering in space, something that's messing with their perception, making them lose all sense of direction. It really does seem to be that the structure itself is incomprehensible. They're
Yeah.
not losing their minds.
Yeah, because the immense shaft earlier, that
Anybody would
really,
be humbled in view of an immense shaft like that.
yeah. I mean, they couldn't hear anything hit the bottom. So yeah, I think the station is warped in its layout. Maybe they were right. Maybe it was only, or appeared to be 500 meters when they got there. The diameter of the station.
What
Maybe
if-
it expanded once they landed.
What if it's not expanding? What if they are shrinking? And that's why they lost their companions. Because their companions shrunk before the rest of them did. So maybe they'll find them again,
Yeah.
now that they're all the same size. We'll have to read on.
In order to establish the exact dimensions of the station, and if possible rescue our companions, we have decided to abandon our repair work and set out on an unlimited survey, however far this may take us. Estimated diameter 500 miles.
That's big.
Large.
That's big. The last estimated diameter was 10 miles. It's a big increase.
Not necessarily unheard of as far as gravity worms go.
True. So they said, screw getting out of here. Screw the ship. We may not have been looking for this space station, but it's interesting enough to make us abandon our mission and actually make this our mission. To figure out what's going on here.
Well, it's not
That's
so
what I'm
much that the space station is interesting, it's that they're still missing their companions.
I forgot about that
And,
part.
No soldier left behind. Truly American.
Yeah.
We read on. Survey Report 5. No trace of our companions. The silent interior spaces of the station have begun to affect our sense of time. We have been traveling in a straight line across one of the central decks for what seems an uncountable period. The same pedestrian concourses, the same mezzanines attached to the stairways, and the same passenger lounges stretch for miles under an unchanging light. The energy needed to maintain this degree of illumination suggests that the operators were used to a full passenger complement. However, there are unmistakable signs that no one has been here since the remote past. Clearly, whoever designed the station based the transit system within it on a timetable of gigantic dimensions. We press on, following the same aisle that separates two adjacent lounge concourses. We rest briefly at fixed intervals, but despite our steady passage, we sense that we are not moving at all, and may well be trapped beneath a gravity worm. And may well be trapped within a small waiting room, whose apparently infinite dimensions we circle like ants on a sphere. Paradoxically, our instruments confirm that we are penetrating a structure of rapidly increasing mass. Is the entire universe no more than an infinitely vast space terminal? Estimated diameter, 5,000 miles.
So it's the back rooms in space, let's be honest.
And given how
Agreed.
deeply they are penetrating this heavenly body, I mean, this is really getting away from... This is more than they can chew, but they've bitten off, so to speak,
Yeah.
as one says.
I mean, the last time the last time I penetrated a structure of rapidly increasing mass was 9 months before you were born. Anyway. Yep.
Your mama's so fat she ate a gravity worm for breakfast. That is crazy. The gravity worm theory would make sense of a lot of this, though.
Survey Report 6. We've just made a remarkable discovery. Our instruments have detected that a slight but perceptible curvature is built into the floors of the station. The ceilings reside behind us and dip fractionally towards the deck below, when the disappearing floors from a distinct horizon. So the station is a
Curvilinear.
structure.
No, you can't laugh.
I know.
Just
That's hard.
continue on.
So the station is a
Curvilinear.
structure.
You gotta look at it, bro. You laugh and we're gonna fall apart.
Like a real time
Dubbing.
It's a real time
Yeah.
edit, yeah. Okay. Alright, one more time. This is the last time. Stop laughing, bro. Okay.
So the station is a
Curvilinear.
structure of finite form. There must be
Meridians.
that mark.
Let's just do this whole one and I'll just say the words that you mispronounced
it's just, that
earlier.
would call me off guard.
Oh, God. Okay. We gotta get through this.
So the station is a
Curvilinear.
structure of
Finite.
form. There must be
Meridians.
that mark out its
Contours.
end.
An equator.
This is stupid. You read this one. I'll read the next one. I can't get over it.
I'm sorry.
Survey Report 6. We have just made a remarkable discovery. Our instruments have detected that a slight but perceptible curvature is built into the floors of the station. The ceilings recede behind us and dip fractionally towards the deck below, while the disappearing floors form a distinct horizon. So the station is a curvilinear structure of finite form. There must be meridians that mark out its contours, and an equator that will return us to our original starting point. We all feel an immediate surge of hope. Already we may have stumbled on an equatorial line, and despite the huge length of our journey, we may in fact be going home. Estimated diameter, 50,000 miles.
So this is getting like moon-sized, right? How big is the moon?
The moon?
As big as your mama.
This space station is planet-sized.
Yes, this is bigger than Earth. And they expect that they're on their way home because they're going to walk around it. That's crazy.
Yeah, they're walking.
You're not walking the super Earth.
Survey Report 7. Our hopes have proved to be short-lived. Excited by the thought that we have mastered the station and cast a net around its invisible bulk.
Breathe. They be wording stuff like this on purpose.
I know, dude. It threw me off.
That is good, like, imagery, though, casting a net, because they were just talking about the contour lines.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
and a net has lines like
I-
that. So that's,
I did like that.
that's clever.
It's good.
We are pressing on with renewed confidence. However, we now know that all of these curvatures exist. They extend in all directions. Each of the walls curves away from its neighbors, the floors from the ceilings. The station, in fact, is an expanding structure whose size appears to increase.
What is
It
funny
increases
about
exponentially.
I don't know, dude. I don't know. Freaking, y'all might have to finish this without
my
me.
face when I increase exponentially in view of a heavenly body?
The longer the journey undertaken by a passenger, the greater the incremental distance he will have to travel. The virtually unlimited facilities of the station suggest that its passengers were embarked on extremely long, if not infinite, journeys. Needless to say, the complex architecture of the station has ominous implications for us. We realize that the size of the station is a measure, not of the number of passengers embarked, though this must have been vast, but the length of the journey that must be undertaken within it.
Ooh,
Indeed.
that's a line. That's a line.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Indeed, there should ideally be only one passenger. A solitary voyager embarked on an infinite journey would require an infinity of transit lounges. As there are, unfortunately, more than one of us, we can assume that the station is an infinite structure with the appearance of an infinite one. The degree to which it approaches an infinite size is merely a measure of the will and ambition of its passengers. Estimated diameter 1 million miles.
I think I know what's going on.
What?
They are in a structure that is non-Euclidean. They are in hyperbolic space. And you can appear just as one small, finite diameter when you are looking down on it from afar. A hyperbolic disk. Two-dimensional plane. But that would just be two-dimensional. I don't trust it.
I don't trust it either. I like this paragraph here. It says the size of the station is a measure, not of the number of passengers embarked, but of the length of journeys that must be undertaken within it. Maybe that implies that you find the exit whenever you're ready to. I don't know. Also, what is a transit lounge? Is that like a train system around the space station?
I don't know. Probably. That sounds likely. You would have a train in space, right?
Survey Report 8. Just when our spirits were at their lowest ebb.
Ebb.
Oh crap! Dude, I guessed the wrong one.
Ebb
I was
and
like,
flow.
I say ebb and flow. No, no.
Ebb and flow.
Just when our spirits were at their lowest ebb, we have made a small but significant finding. We were moving across one of the limitless passenger decks, a prey to all fears and speculations, when we noticed signs of recent habitation. A party of travelers has paused here in the recent past. The chairs in the central concourse have been disturbed, an elevator door has been forced, and there are the unmistakable traces left by the weary voyagers. Without doubt, there were more than two of them, so must regretfully exclude our lost companions.
I think they mean so we must. I don't know.
Although he does assume that the two lost passengers did not join the larger party.
Also, if the size of the space station can change, we can't rule out some time warp stuff either.
Mm.
Maybe they were here 5 minutes ago. Maybe they were here 10,000 years ago. Who knows?
Especially if they encountered a time worm.
Yep. Some say those are worse than gravity worms.
Well, really, they're the same.
But there are others in the station, perhaps embarked on a journey as endless as our own. We have also noticed slight variations in the decor of the station, in the design of light fittings and floor tiles. These may seem trivial, but multiplying them by the virtually infinite size of the station, we can envisage a gradual evolution in its architecture. Somewhere in the station, there may well be populated enclaves, even entire cities surrounded by empty passenger decks that stretch on forever like free space. Perhaps there are nation-states whose civilizations rose and declined as their peoples paused in their endless migrations across the station.
So, in this paragraph, I note a subtle reference to Penrose tiling, which is a type of tiling that you can use that is infinite and non-repeating. And in the last sentence, he even uses the word rose. So I feel like it's a reference. It's a reference there to Penrose tiling. A little shout out.
Interesting. Yeah, this definitely speaks more about the planet size of the space station and how the people on it could have, like, I mean, it functions like a planet functions. It's like there's groups of people, like nations, who have their own laws and stuff, which is an interesting concept for a space station. Because it's a man-made object. Someone had to make the space station.
Right. Who watches the watchers?
Yeah.
Who manages the space station? Who controls the environment in which nations rise and fall?
Yep.
Very powerful gravity worm.
Where were they going? And what force propelled them on their meaningless journeys? We can only hope that they were driven forward by the greatest of all instincts, the need to establish the station's size. Estimated diameter, 5 light years.
So that's speculation. You can't measure. I mean, we don't know what time, like what time period they're in, but they haven't moved across 5 light years.
Certainly not. You wouldn't be able to measure one solid static object like that.
Yeah.
In, less than 10 light years.
Yeah. We're getting to like multiple planetary systems size. It's crazy.
Survey Report 9. We are jubilant. A growing euphoria has come over us as we move across these great concourses. We've seen no further trace of our fellow passengers, and it now seems likely that we were following one of the inbuilt curvatures of the station and crossed our own tracks. But this small setback counts for nothing now. We have accepted the limitless size of the station, and this awareness fills us with feelings that are almost religious. Our instruments confirm what we have long suspected, that the empty space across which we traveled from our own solar system, in fact, lies within the interior of the station, one of many vast lacunae set in its endlessly curving walls. Our solar system and its planets, the millions of other solar systems that constitute our galaxy, and the island universes themselves all lie within the boundaries of the station. The station is coeval with the cosmos, and constitutes the cosmos. Our duty is to travel across it on a journey whose departure point we have already begun to forget, and whose destination is the station itself, every floor and concourse within it. So we move on, sustained by our faith in the station, aware that every step we take thereby allows us to reach a small part of that destination. By its existence, the station sustains us, and gives our lives their only meaning. We are so glad that in return we have begun to worship the station. Estimated diameter, 15,000 light years.
So you mentioned who manages the station, who controls the station. The station controls everything else. It surrounds all.
So instead of worshiping the creator of the station, they worship the station.
Yes.
This is very wise. And by wise, I mean stupid.
Well, I mean, did someone create the station? And if someone created the station,
where are they?
Where are they? And how technologically advanced would you have to be to build a physical structure that is 15,000 light years in diameter?
It would take the work of multiple gravity worms, at the very least.
There's no question about that.